I never stopped my sister from marrying my fiancé. That is the part everyone finds difficult to understand. When Clara stood in front of the mirror wearing the wedding dress I'd once chosen for myself, I could have screamed. I could have exposed her. I could have told everyone exactly what she had done. Instead, I smiled and said, "You look beautiful." Clara didn't know the truth, and by the time she discovered it, it would already be too late. My name is Evelyn Hart, and 3 months earlier I had been engaged to a man named Nathan. We had been together for 4 years. Nathan was the man I thought I'd grow old with. We had already chosen a wedding venue, we had discussed children, we had even started looking at houses. Then one evening Nathan told me he needed to work late. I believed him, until I received a message from an unknown number. There was only one sentence: "You should probably check where your fiancé really is tonight." Attached was a photograph. Nathan was sitting inside an expensive restaurant. Across from him was my sister Clara. His hand was resting on hers. I stared at the picture for almost a minute, then another message arrived. "I'm sorry you had to find out this way." I didn't sleep that night. The next morning I confronted Nathan. He didn't even deny it. Instead, he looked at me and said something I'll never forget. "Evelyn, I care about you, but Clara understands me better." I thought my heart had stopped. "My own sister," Nathan sighed. "It wasn't supposed to happen." I laughed, not because anything was funny. I laughed because I couldn't believe the two people I trusted most had done this to me. Then Clara came to my apartment. She cried, she apologized, she said she had never planned to fall in love with him. But then she said something that made me realize exactly who she was. "He chose me." I looked at her. "You're right." I continued. "He did." I took off my engagement ring and placed it on the table. "Then you can have him," stared at the ring. "You mean it?" "Yes." She hugged me. I stood there without moving, because there was something Clara didn't know, and Nathan didn't know either. Something I discovered 2 days before I received that photograph. Something that would change everything. Before I tell you what it was, if you're enjoying this story, subscribe to Stories by Dimmy, because the truth behind this wedding is something Clara never saw coming. After I ended the engagement, I disappeared from both of their lives. I stopped answering Nathan's calls. I blocked Clara. I moved into a small apartment across town and started focusing on work. For the first few weeks I was miserable. Then one afternoon, I received an email from my lawyer. It was about my grandmother's estate. My grandmother had died 6 months earlier. Before her death, she had left instructions that certain assets would only be transferred after her granddaughter turned 28. I had just turned 28. And suddenly I understood why my grandmother had always told me, "Never let anyone convince you that you're worth less than what you know you are." The estate wasn't just money. There was a property, a very valuable property. My grandmother owned a beautiful historic building in the city center, and according to her will, I was now the sole owner. But there was something else. My grandmother had also left behind a letter specifically for me. I opened it that evening. The first line said, "Evelyn, if you are reading this, someone may already be trying to take what belongs to you." I froze. The letter explained that my grandmother had noticed something strange before she died. Someone had been making inquiries about the property. Someone who knew I was her heir. Someone who had access to information about my family. Then came the name, Nathan. I couldn't breathe. Nathan hadn't just been cheating on me. He had been asking questions about my grandmother's property. I called my lawyer immediately. He confirmed it. Nathan had contacted an attorney months earlier asking about purchasing the building. But there was no way he could have known the property would eventually belong to me, unless someone had told him. And the only person who knew everything about my grandmother's estate was Clara. Suddenly, everything made sense. The affair, the sudden interest in marriage, the questions Nathan had asked me about my grandmother. It hadn't been love, it had been a plan. And Clara had helped him. I could have exposed them immediately, but I didn't. Instead, I waited. 2 months later, Clara called me. "Evelyn, I'm getting married." "I know," was a pause. "Will you come?" I smiled. "Of course." She sounded relieved. I attended the wedding. Clara looked radiant. Nathan looked nervous, not happy, nervous. During the reception, Clara pulled me aside. "I know this must be hard for you." I looked at her wedding ring. "You don't have to worry about me." She smiled. "You're stronger than I am." I almost laughed. Then she whispered, "Nathan and I are buying our first property after the wedding." I looked at her. "Really?" "Yes, it's going to be a beautiful building in the city." Heart sank. They were planning to buy my grandmother's building, except they didn't know that the owner had changed. They thought Nathan could still purchase it. And I knew exactly what I was going to do. The following Monday, Nathan walked into the office of the estate's property manager. He was carrying documents. He told them he wanted to finalize the purchase. The manager smiled politely. "I'm afraid that's impossible," Nathan frowned. "Why?" "Because the property is no longer for sale." Nathan's face changed. "Who owns it?" The manager looked at him. "Miss Evelyn Hart." Nathan went completely silent. Then he asked, "Are you sure?" Nathan left the office immediately. That evening my phone rang. It was him. I answered. "Evelyn." "Yes, we need to talk." "We already did." "No, you don't understand." "I understand perfectly." Became quiet. Then he said, "Clara didn't know." I laughed. "Didn't know what?" "That I was interested in the property." I looked out my apartment window. "Nathan, you asked about my grandmother's building before you even left me." Silence. Then he whispered, "How did you find out?" "Grandmother told me." He didn't know she had left records. He didn't know she had warned me. And most importantly, he didn't know that I'd already transferred the property into a trust that made it impossible for him to purchase or control it. But there was one more thing I hadn't told Clara. The next morning, Clara came to my apartment. She was crying. He left me. I stared at her. "What happened?" He said he made a mistake. I didn't say anything. She continued. "He said he only married me because he thought I could help him get that property." I looked at her. For the first time since everything began, Clara looked genuinely broken. "He used me." I nodded. "He did." She sat down, then she looked at me. "Why didn't you tell?" Could have said 100 things. I could have reminded her that she stole my fiancé, that she lied to me, that she watched me fall apart and still married him. Instead, I simply said, "Because you wouldn't have believed me." She started crying. "I hate what I did to you." I looked at my sister for a long time. "I don't forgive you yet." Her tears continued. "I'm glad you finally know the truth." She nodded. Then she left. Nathan lost the property. He lost his marriage, and eventually, he lost his reputation when his business partners discovered that he had been trying to use my grandmother's estate for his own financial plans. As for Clara, she spent months trying to rebuild the relationship she had destroyed. I didn't immediately forgive her, but I eventually learned something important. Revenge isn't always about destroying someone. Sometimes, revenge is simply refusing to let what they did destroy you. I rebuilt my life. I renovated my grandmother's building and turned it into a successful business. And years later, when someone asked me why I didn't stop my sister from marrying the man she stole from me, I smiled. Because I knew something they didn't. I wasn't losing a husband. I was losing a man who had never truly loved me. And Clara wasn't stealing my future. She was removing herself from it. Sometimes the person who breaks your heart is actually making room for something better. And sometimes, the best revenge isn't watching someone suffer. It's watching yourself become completely okay without them. If this story touched you, don't forget to subscribe to Stories by Dimmy and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another emotional story, shocking betrayal, or unexpected twist. Because sometimes, the person you thought you lost was the very thing holding you back.